Hi folks, welcome to the Prepared Homestead. This is Travis. Thank you all for stopping by to watch. So the Supreme Court shot down Joe Biden's student loan forgiveness thing. $450 billion, something like that. And they said that it's unconstitutional and that it can't happen. Joe Biden said today, by the time you watch this, you may have already, I don't know when the announcement's going to come. I saw that Joe Biden said that there would be an announcement today, but I don't know when that is. So you may have already seen the announcement, and maybe none of this video means anything after that. But apparently he says that that they found some kind of loophole, that they can work around this Supreme Court ruling, because that's what we do in America. We work around the law. When the law says you can't do something, we find some little loophole to get around it. Who knows if that's going to happen, if it's going to be successful or not. Will it go back to the Supreme Court? I can't see that our founders, the Constitution, the Supreme Court, or even Congress, for the most part, is okay with just the executive branch forgiving the loans of, $500 billion of student debt. I know that there's an argument to be said that, well, you pay on that stuff for years and they make lots of money off of you. I get it. But then there's the argument that, well, you're responsible for your debt, right? Who's paying for that? It's not, they don't just wipe it away. The government's basically, absorbing that debt, which it trickles down to you and I, whether it's through taxation or through the inflation of our dollar, the devaluing of our currency. Anyways, that's not exactly where I wanted to go with this, but I thought I'd throw that out there. Where I want to go with this, let's just say that the Supreme Court ruling stands, and all of these people that for 2 years now or so haven't been paying their student loans are forced to pay their student loans. This could potentially be the thing that pushes the economy over the ledge, at least into a recession, most likely somewhere between a very hard landing recession and a depression, because however many people that is, I didn't look up how many people it is that's in the loan forgiveness program, but however many people that is, however much money that they're paying every month, they haven't been paying it for 2 years now, and they've been taking that money, most of them. I doubt that very many of them have been taking the money that they would be paying on that debt and just putting it in the bank and building up their savings, because the numbers don't show that. The numbers show that the American savings is the lowest it's been in just about forever, and that the amount of debt the Americans are in is the highest ever, over $1 trillion in personal consumer debt. So what that tells me is however much money, whether it be $100, $200, $300, $400 a month, however much, that these people would have been paying on their student debt for the last couple of years, they're now paying on something else. They're now paying on credit cards or a car payment or, a rent payment. They've got a better house, better apartment, whatever it is. And if they're forced to somehow pay that, they're either not going to be able to, which is going to play havoc on a very large level in the economy, or they're going to have to file for some kind of bankruptcy, which also is going to play havoc on the economy. So while I'm not saying that this is a certain thing that could happen, if it does, it could be the catalyst that kind of pushes the economy over the edge. The economy, as much as they want to say that, well, it's good in some areas, and there has been. I'll admit, there's been areas that probably have improved over the last 3 years. But it doesn't take much to go from a complete stop. The economy almost came to a screeching halt for a few weeks, few months. So it doesn't take much to make the economy look good after that. It's like Joe Biden bragging about how he's created more jobs than any other president. He didn't create anything. It was just that all the restrictions and everything were released, and so all these people started going back to work and businesses started reopening pretty much while he was president. So he didn't create any jobs. It was just all the jobs that people weren't allowed to work at now could go back to work. Anyways, you all know that. I don't have to explain that to you. The point is that if this happens, we could see some pretty serious economic problems. If we see the somehow forcing of almost $500 billion in student loan debt being forced upon people to pay, I mean, I not even if they make you pay, just make you start from now moving forward. I suspect there's going to be a lot of people that can't do it because they've gotten used to it over the last year or two, and they're spending their money in other areas. And so that's going to create very possibly an economic crisis, and it's something that you should be aware of, kind of planning for, as just another thing that's very likely going to happen that causes us to very possibly go into another major crisis mode. There's been talks, well, for months, but especially in the last few days even, of more banking collapse. I think it was yesterday or the day before, that the Federal Reserve and the bank regulators did some kind of test, whatever they did. I call it a war game, but that's not what they call it, where they did this scenario. If America goes through a major recession, how will it affect the banking system, being that the banking system's already teetering on the edge? And what they determined was that at least the top 23 largest banks in America would survive. The rest, don't know. That's not good. Janet Yellen has said recently that they suspect that there'll be more bank consolidations, which means small banks collapse, big banks buy them up. Yesterday, bank regulators were encouraging lenders to have more of an open conversation and to be talking with banks about helping them shore up their accounts, because there's a lot of banks that's kind of teetering on the edge of collapse. There's already been over $500 billion of money that's been withdrawn out of banks and put who knows where. We don't know where every bit of it went, but anyways, there's been that much money withdrawn out of banks since about March of this year. So there's been a lot of money removed out of banks, and it's just getting worse. All that, and a bunch of people, millions of people, being forced to start paying their student loans back that they've gotten used to not paying, and they've taken that money and they're putting it on other things, could be very catastrophic. So we need to be prepared for that. You need to be getting ready for that like you do everything else. Who knows what this plan is? I don't know. As of the making of this video, I couldn't find anything indicating what Joe Biden's plan is. And I'm sure it's a genius one, because he's so smart and all the people around him seem to be so brilliant. I'm sure it's a genius plan. But, well, guess we'll wait and see what that is. I do want to mention something else totally irrelevant to this topic. I've mentioned them before. Some of you have heard of them, but some friends of ours have a coffee business. They roast their own coffee at home. They sell it. It's called mooseruncoffee.com. They called me and said, hey, we want to do a little promotion for your channel viewers. And if you go on there and you order any coffee and you use the promo code or the discount code TPH23, you'll get 10% off your order. They also have a new blend of coffee called Grindstone Blend. And if you purchase that, a portion of those proceeds go to Grindstone Ministries, which many of you know. It's a ministry founded by Bear Independent, that other YouTube channel. And the goal is to help sexually abused, and trafficked women and children. And so they're doing some big fundraising over there. They're building a house, a Caleb house, which is a home for people that, a secure place that they can stay. They do a lot of good work. So if you go over there and you buy coffee, especially the Grindstone Blend, that'll help with that. And if you want 10% off, use TPH23 as a discount code. But I don't know. What do you think about this? Do you think that it's going to be a problem? Do you think making all these people start to pay their debts, their loans, is going to cause the economy to kind of take a big hit? Or do you think it's nothing? Do you think that Joe Biden's master plan to get people from having to pay their debt, their school loan, is going to help? I don't know. I don't know what to think on this one. And again, as of the making of this video, I haven't seen his plan unveiled, but maybe it has by the time you watch it. So certainly give us your opinion, because it's just one of the other many things happening that's just going to have great effect on us, I believe. Folks, you know the drill. You know it's time. Quit procrastinating. Quit putting off today what you can do today, and get yourselves prepared. Start stocking up the food that you need, the supplies that you need. Get mentally prepared for it, training yourself, developing skills, becoming as self-sufficient as possible, separating yourself from the system as much as you possibly can. That's the best way to get ready, mentally, physically, and spiritually. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.